Welcome back, everybody, to the Autism Exchange podcast, where we want to communicate and we want to collaborate. Thanks for coming back again. Thankful we didn't run everybody off. I'm Michael Coldiron, joined by Super Janice. How are you, Super Janice?
I'm great. How are you? I'm also grateful that we didn't run anybody off, I hope. Anyway, it's really good to see you. How are you?
I'm good. Finer than a frog hair split. Finish that.
In a sandwich? I don't know.
Yes. All right, we just got another button. Finer than a frog hair split 3 ways. We are not just joined by Super Janice, who doesn't know colloquialisms. We also have postmaster with us, and she'll be introduced momentarily.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm doing well. Glad to see you, Janice. And why don't you go ahead and introduce the postmaster?
I would be happy to. We have someone really special today in a number of ways. I'm going to explain it during the introduction here. Through a very happy happenstance, she became a mom to Logan, who is currently 9. She is a fierce advocate, and a lot because she has been partnering with service providers to sort of create her village to help bring things along, including one of the village members of our very own Dr. Michael Coldiron. And hopefully, she'll have a chance to talk to us a little bit too about what it was like to have her son home with her and trying to do therapy during the times of COVID, which seem far back in the past, but actually are not for a number of reasons. But anyway, so with that introduction, I would like to introduce our listeners to Lauren Strunk. Hello, Lauren.
Postmaster.
Welcome. Postmaster Lauren
Postmaster
Strunk. I'm
Lauren
sorry.
Strunk. Hi, Lauren.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Good. You know, it dawned on me. Janice said that
Mm.
you and I had worked together here with Logan, and I was thinking, wow, and she's willing to come do this podcast still. So yeah, I didn't. You talking about not running people off? I didn't run her off, so
No.
that's good. Um, well, tell Janice, introduce my home, my country, because I want to jump head first into
Mm,
that.
mhm, mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
and then I have a couple of current topics to hit, but let's go ahead and do as part of the
Okay.
introduction. Let's go ahead and do my home, my country.
Okay, Lauren. We love to ask our guests a little bit to explain or describe their home in their country. And that's something that we do on the podcast. And my home, my country is sort of like what makes your family unique to you. What kinds of things do you do, or like customs or rituals or little habits or little things that you do to sort of share the company amongst yourselves, and also anybody else would come to your house. What would they notice and said, "Oh, this is really interesting. This is the way that Lauren runs her home in her country." So, with that very sort of like I don't know, hurried introduction, can you tell us a little bit about your home in your country?
Chaos. Um,
Me too.
yeah. Um, Big, messy chaos. Not only do I have Logan, who's 9, I have Jayla, who is 2 months from being 2. And you combine the 2 of them together, and nothing in my house seems to make any sense. I mean, it makes perfect sense to them but to any outsider, they probably just look at my house and I'm like, "Yeah, you need to give me a day's notice before you come."
Well, you're doing better than us because ours is like 3 days.
Well, and then we just clean the living room and it's like you're not allowed to go anywhere else. So,
Uh-huh.
yeah. Um, but yeah, my house is pretty much ever since having Logan has always been chaos. Um, I would say he is organized in mess. Like, I would clean, and it would be things that he never would even hardly touch, but as soon as I moved them from his specific spot, he would move them back, and it would stay there for a year if I let it, so, yeah, there's no cleanliness. I mean, it's clean. It's just a bunch of, toys and
Yeah.
clothes, whatever,
He's
but
got an organizational system. Like he
yeah,
knows where everything is, and it's just it's his filing system, right?
exactly,
Mhm.
yeah. I could say he had a room full of toys, that so many that you couldn't walk in there,
Mhm.
but if he wanted something, he knew exactly where to go get that toy. It'd be something, like I said, I hadn't seen him touch in months, but
Isn't that cool?
it is. It's
Mhm.
amazing.
But if he's anything like PJ, PJ might know where it is, but he'll grab your hand and say whatever it is and then just throw you to go find it for him. He could go straight to it and grab it 9 times out of 10, and we have no earthly idea where it is. So he's just like watching us struggle trying to find this landmine, in a landfill, basically. That's funny. Hey, just because I always think of this when I think of Logan, Dinosaur and Dixie, it's the
Yeah.
cutest thing in the world. Tell Janice.
So we have 2 cats. Well, we have a 3rd one now, but, we have 2 cats that we've had for 6 years now,
Which is
and
crazy because I remember when you got them.
yeah. Yeah, so, Dinosaur and Dixie, they were actually cats that got, their mom cat had kittens at the post office, and we're next to a busy road, and unfortunately, mama didn't make it, and, a coworker and friend of mine, they took the kittens home and nursed them until they were weaned, and then I agreed to take 2, and they were supposed to be outdoor cats, but Logan wouldn't have it. They had to be inside. So, we were trying to name them, and I have a 17-year-old stepson, and so we let him name one and was letting Logan name one. Logan couldn't really talk very well at the time. He was, about 3.5 years old, and he had very few words, and, what he did say was not if you didn't know him, you probably couldn't understand him very well. And so we were trying to come up with something to name this cat, and chose Dixie, and so we were trying to figure out the male, and Logan could only, we were like he was obsessed with dinosaurs at the time, and so I was like, "Let's name it T-Rex," and my husband's like, "I feel like that's a little bit too much." And I was like, "Okay, well, Dino," and then out of nowhere, Logan says, "Dinosaur," plain as day, which, coming from a kiddo who couldn't hardly talk, it was amazing, so it stuck, and I think it's the
Dinosaur
best
it
cat
is.
yeah,
Hey,
I
best cat
Logan.
name
love
ever.
it.
Logan, come here. Come talk into this. Say hi.
Hi.
Come closer. I won't hurt you. You know that. Okay. Talk right.
Hi.
This
Hi,
is Janice.
Logan.
Say hi, Janice.
Hi.
Hi.
How
We
are
were just talking
you?
about your cats. What are their names?
Well, I got Dinosaur and Dixie and Pepper and the kittens.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
You
Which
know,
one is your
Janice,
favorite?
she said, which one is your favorite?
Dinosaur, because he's the chillest and nicest out of them.
Oh, yeah. He's the chillest and nicest. So I
Yeah.
must be like Dinosaur. Chill and nice. And Logan's favorite. We all fight here over who gets to be Logan's favorite, and we all try to butter him up every way we can. Hey, Logan, do you know that Janice knows Mario and Luigi and Yoshi? You still love Mario, don't you?
Mhm.
Yeah. Who's your favorite character?
Mario.
Mario? It's a me, Mario. Hello. Awesome. So, Logan, if you want to sit by your mom, you can. It's comfy back there. Okay. So, cats. I was gonna do actually. We have to do a throwback Thursday
Okay.
because poor Mama Cat that we were talking about had a bit of an issue, right, with her life, right, that resulted in Lauren having the kittens. She said that the cat ran out into the road, right, and got hit.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so we
yes.
should send her to Norway or wherever that was, to the zoo.
Right.
Just scrape her
I
right up
think
and ship her.
they have to be in one piece.
Oh,
I don't think any scraping is allowed. They have to be in one piece, nothing that can be unfurled.
well, I don't know. So, Lauren, one time early on in an episode, we found an article that there was a zoo. Where was it? Was it Norway? Where was
I
it?
think it was
Finland,
Finland or Denmark, one of the two.
Denmark,
I don't
Denmark.
yeah,
Anyway, someplace the zoo was accepting people's pets that they would
Oh.
feed to the animals, like tigers and stuff.
That's terrible.
I know. And so we had a lot of questions, but we didn't get a lot of answers. But they
We
wouldn't
never
take
wrote to them to get, like, any feedback. We just sort of,
I
like,
should call them.
ponder this ourselves.
I'll call
We
them in
didn't
my Kentucky voice. Hey, I got a
Yeah.
horse, and she's getting a
Yeah.
little old. Wondered if you bears like horse.
Yeah, we didn't
Hey,
solicit a statement from the zoo. We just sort of thought about this on our own.
right. Um, Speaking of animals, I gotta tell you something that's crazy. Lauren, I'm gonna show you
Mm,
here. Um, I have been doing a lot of fencing because long story, tried to move horses over to a new pasture where they could eat better grass and more of it. And I was carrying a T-post, those big metal
Yeah.
fence posts, and I was carrying it over my shoulder and, um, walking, across the field or whatever, and put it down to where I was gonna drive it, and then I reached over with the other hand and grabbed the post driver, reached over and put it on top of it, and I looked over, just, glanced to make sure I guess didn't smash my finger, and my hand was right beside this.
Oh, we had one of those in the corner of our garage the other day.
Oh, black widow spider, and I absolutely came unglued. And I mean, what'd y'all do to yours? Did you just squish it?
John did. I was at work, but yeah. Yeah, my husband did.
ugh.
I told him he needed to call, like, Terminex or something and
Yeah.
get the whole yard, house, everything sprayed.
Oh my
What'd you say,
gosh.
Logan? Yeah, he hates black widows just like me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I freaked out.
It looks like they just got blood on their back.
It does look like they have blood on their back. It really does. That's kinda creepy, isn't it? Um, I was thinking too, like, I'm carrying this big heavy metal pole. You wouldn't necessarily feel something bite you, like, because you metal banging against you or whatever, and,
Right.
oh, wait. Logan, say bye. Wait, come here. Say bye.
Bye.
Get right in here.
Bye. Bye, Logan.
Bye.
Thank
See
you
you,
for
buddy.
coming over. Thank you for stopping by.
See you later, too.
What'd he say? See you later too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you later too. Bye,
All right.
buddy.
You're welcome anytime.
You wouldn't necessarily feel that thing bite you if you were carrying a metal pole, So I immediately
Yeah.
thought, "Oh, shoot, did it get me and I didn't know?" And, I freaked out, but anyway.
Oh,
Um,
man. That even just seeing that picture, I'm like, "Oh, really, really, this, like, it." First of all, it was a great picture. Second of all, it's not great that it was a bad picture because you can totally see in, like, what it was like and how big it was and how, like, round it was disgusting.
it was
I mean, no
disgusting.
offense to any sort of arachnid people out there, but I really don't like spiders.
Offense to arachnid people, because
Mm.
I mean offense to them. No, I'm kidding, I don't, but I just hate I hate spiders.
Yeah.
Uh, Lauren, I want you to answer second because you're like me, you're from down here in the South. Janice, we talk about
Mm.
sawbriars and possums and mules staring at gates and all that good stuff.
Mhm.
Somebody stumped me with a word the other day.
Okay.
And that's going some because I
Yeah.
usually
Yeah,
have
yeah.
heard it before. Actually, it was Lorraine. Um, so Lorraine said to me something about Mama's fixing vittles. Have you heard that?
No, I have not. And I I I don't know. I don't know what that is. Beans? I don't know.
I mean, Lauren, do you know?
I don't know.
Okay, vittles. So I was told that if
Oh,
you
vittles. Vittles are food, right? Isn't, like, vittles like a snack? No? Alright, never mind, I'll
Yeah.
stop talking.
No, that's right. My mind is blown.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought you said, it's something else, but if it's vittles with a V, Vittles, vittles. Yeah, that's like a snack.
Dude, I am shocked.
Hey.
Not in like a you're not smart way, but like a you're not redneck way. Like I've never heard vittle and I was told like, "Oh, you gotta go back and watch the Beverly Hillbillies." I've watched the Beverly Hillbillies. I
Hmm.
love it. But apparently, what's her name? What's the grandma? Oh, come on. Anyway, she talks about
Hmm.
vittles in there, and so it got me down a rabbit hole. So the other night I watched like 3 of the first episodes of the Beverly Hillbillies. And you talk about something that didn't age well. They were into like some gender stuff in the first episode. I'm like, that would
Oh, yeah.
never fly anymore.
Uh-uh. Uh-uh.
They'd be
No.
canceled in a heartbeat. But anyway, I thought that was funny.
That
Um,
is pretty funny. But, also, just to let you know, while you're watching the Beverly Hillbillies, I watched Home Alone, and so
did
I
you
want to
really?
say I did. I did. I considered it sort of like, homework or, research,
Hold on.
because I
Can
didn't
I
want.
interrupt you for a second?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So are you about to apologize to me
Oh, no, I wasn't about to. What was I apologizing for? What would I
for
be
not watching
apologizing?
Home Alone and for telling me you didn't like it?
Well, I mean, I've seen enough parts of it that I solidly can say, I had an opinion about it, but I guess if it's standard issue viewing and I didn't see it, then yes, I apologize for not watching standard issue viewing. I
Lauren, do
apologize
you
for
like Home Alone?
I do like Home Alone.
Which one's your favorite?
The first one. I don't think that the rest are very good.
Okay, yeah, I'll give Home Alone 2 a decent, like it's okay. Probably my second favorite movie of all time, but definitely doesn't even hold a flame to Home Alone 1.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Oh, let me ask you this. Do you have a favorite Home Alone quote?
Me? No.
Yeah. You
No.
don't? Okay. Janice?
I wasn't watching that carefully.
See, you're just lying to me. You didn't even watch it. You
No,
lied.
I did. I don't know. I didn't like that. It was kind of like the Bugs Bunny sort of thing where it was so outlandish and people were getting hurt all the time. And I just didn't like that. What I did like is how clever he was to come up with all these contraptions, to sort of like move like people dancing in the windows and like all these elaborate sort of mousetrap sort of things. Like I thought that was pretty cool. But they kept getting, like really significantly hurt and then they would like come back up again. And I thought that I just didn't
But you like
understand that.
Wile E. Coyote.
It
It's the
was
same thing.
no, but it was kind of like the Three Stooges sort of humor. And I guess there are different brands of humor. And I guess that isn't necessarily the one that I choose to turn on first. Can we change this? Speaking of channels, let's change the channel because I'm digging myself in a hole here and I would like to change the channel. Let's change the channel, please. Lauren,
Did anybody order me a plain cheese? Yeah, they did. But if you want any, somebody's gonna have to barf it all up. Fuzz, don't be a moron.
I got nothing. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Let's go back to a frog sandwich or something. Anywho, Lauren, I'm so glad that Logan came in to say hi. That was really nice. It's nice to sort of see who we're going to be, be included in the conversation. So that was really nice. And for our listeners, he's a super handsome kid, and it was nice to see him. Anyway, so Michael, did you have a question that you would like to ask Lauren, or just to get started and get off of sawbriars and sandwiches and people getting hit in the head?
Yeah, so y'all listening, this is how Janice grabs the back of my collar and yanks me back in line. Yes, that just happened. We need a button for that. Lauren, you
We
know what I'm
do.
talking about, like a mom grabs the kid's collar and is
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Get back over here."
Well,
Absolutely.
I
That's
tried to nudge. I really did. There were like 3 nudges in there, and we couldn't.
I just
Now
ignore them. Like, I
I
see
know,
them, I just ignore them.
I know. So, and then that's why there's a collar yank. I need one of those sticks like they had in vaudeville, with like those hooks where you can just hook the person and you can sort of like
Oh,
bring them
yeah,
off stage. I think there's a
like
name for that, like
Bo
Bo
Peep
Peep.
in Toy Story.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yes, but I'm thinking of like well before then, just that. And it does not matter. What would you like to say? Because I know you always have notes. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. Do not laugh at me. I'm trying
I'm
to
red.
like bring this train a
Okay,
little
I
bit
got you.
in a single
I will
direction.
I will
Okay.
change the channel. Lauren,
Okay.
one of the things that we didn't talk about early on, we jumped right into My Home, My Country, and thank you for being here and doing this. This is awesome.
Oh, you're
Um,
welcome.
was
Well,
Logan is
so far we're kind of sorry that you had to sit through all of this, but we're about to make it worth your while. I promise.
Okay.
so Logan is on the autism spectrum, right?
Yes.
And this is an autism podcast, but we try really hard not to um we're not trying to be self-help people or teach you what to do. My kid does this, what do I do about it? There's plenty of that stuff, but we just want to talk about it. And out of these random unscripted conversations comes some really cool things where, Janice and I, even we take things away from this that are like, wow, I did not see that coming. So I would just like, as long as you're good with it, I would just kind of like to know what you were feeling and what you were thinking along the way that led you to an autism evaluation for Logan, and then kind of how that felt. Mind you, I've been through it too, and I just want to kind of hear from a different perspective what it felt like.
Okay. So, Logan had reached every milestone early until it got to talking, and then he wasn't talking. And so at his 18-month wellness check, I brought it up to the pediatrician and told her I would like to see a speech therapist. she referred me to a speech therapist, and then because Logan wasn't really responding to their cues and things, she was like, well, maybe the speech therapist recommended hearing. So then we went to audiology and did a hearing test. He did perfectly fine with his hearing. And then, of course, being a new mom, and I didn't really know anybody whose kid had any kind of delays. So my best friend was Google. And so, you type into Google reasons for speech delay, and one of the first things that's going to pop up is autism.
Mm-hmm.
So then I went down rabbit hole after rabbit hole and worried myself sick. And so started taking him to speech therapy. I didn't much care for the speech therapist we initially sent. Not that there was anything wrong with her. She was just brand new, and Logan needed someone who was going to be very assertive with him.
Mm-hmm.
And she was kind of letting him walk all over, and I felt like we were both wasting our time. So then I began searching for somewhere else to go. And then in the meantime, I had family, friends, everybody like, he's perfectly fine. Why are you so worried? Boys develop later. And telling me basically that I was crazy and wasting my time. And I was like, you know what? If he doesn't need it, perfect, great. What's it hurting?
Yep.
But if he does need it, then I want to be in front of it. And so everything I ever read was early intervention is key.
Mm-hmm.
So then I went back to the pediatrician, explained I was not happy with the speech therapist that she had referred us to. And I did some research and found I had a friend work at a therapy center here in Somerset. So am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if Jens were
No, you're good.
location kind of thing.
Oh no, we're cool.
So
We're not in the CIA.
I had a friend work at a therapy center here in Somerset. So I asked her if, there was any openings. And so I got a referral from the pediatrician to go there. And went in and ended up doing occupational and speech therapy at this therapy center. And they did the co-treatment. And so it was 45 minutes. I was paying a whole lot of money, and I wasn't really seeing any kind of improvement. I felt like it would have been better to have split him up into 2 appointments versus them co-treating together, because I felt like he definitely needed that one-on-one focus. He didn't need multiple people coming at him with different things at one time. And so I brought that up to their attention, and they were kind of against it. And I had also my pediatrician had also recommended First Steps,
Mhm.
so where they come to my home. So I had occupational therapy, speech therapy, and then just a general therapist. I really don't know what the name was.
Probably developmental interventionist,
Maybe so,
a
yeah.
DI.
So there was 3 of them coming to my home every I think it was every 2 weeks or something they would come to my home.
Mhm.
So we were doing both, and one of the speech therapists, or no, the occupational therapist recommended Michael. So that's how I ended up here. Um,
They must have been crazy. I
yeah,
don't know who you're talking about, but man.
cannot remember her name for the life of me. She was an older lady. She actually told me she was on the spectrum herself.
Hmm.
And she lived here in Somerset as well. But
Cool.
she said, as far as feeding went, there was nothing because then feeding started becoming a concern. Things that Logan ate, he was no longer eating. He had a very, very limited diet. It was very concerning. So she's like, as far as feeding goes, that's what he needs when it comes to occupational therapy. And she said, I can't do that in your home.
Mhm.
You have to be in the clinical setting. So that's how we come to meet Michael. But so I was with First Steps, they asked me, they're like, do you want us to send him to be evaluated? I was like, well, I'd asked my pediatrician. She said that she wasn't very concerned right now, and there was a year wait list. And they're like, well, we have appointments reserved. And so at Weiskopf in Louisville.
Yep.
And so we have appointments reserved through us, so we can just get you in with one of them if that's what you like. And I was like, Absolutely, because I was fighting insurance, and I knew. I just feel like, as a parent, and probably more specifically as a mother, when there's something going on with your kid, and so I knew that. I felt like, after all the hours of reading and research online, I knew he had autism, but I was like, "You know what? Why not just go and let him tell us everything's okay?"
Yeah.
You
It
know?
can't hurt.
No,
Mhm.
we went, then he had just turned 2. He wasn't even a month into his year 2, and we went to the, Weiskopf, and I was expecting, like, this 8-hour day and all these evaluations. We were there for 2 hours, and they put us in a different room, and they come in, and they're like, "We're very confident your son has autism. Here's your paperwork. Have a nice day." I
Yeah.
was like, "What?"
Now what do I do?
Yeah, like, so I
Wow.
cried and cried and cried, and we were still at the previous speech and occupational therapy center, so I went in on his next appointment, and I told them, I was like, Logan does have an autism diagnosis." And I struggled a long, long time to say, "Logan has autism." I didn't want it to label him. I didn't want people to judge him because of it, because he was such an amazing kid.
Mhm.
So I said, I would always say, he has an autism diagnosis. Never would
Well,
I say he is autistic or has autism. Never would those words come out of my mouth for a very long time. And
yeah.
and I'm still very selective on how I say it when people ask, just because I don't want them to think any differently of him. So, and I feel like if I was to go be evaluated, I could very well be on the spectrum myself.
Mhm.
So, but no, I struggled really, really bad with it for a very long time. It didn't change who he was. He was still this amazing kid that I loved, and I had no doubt he was going to do great things in life. But I felt like I had this picture painted for him. I had the picture painted for him for his future, and that was no longer probably going to be the case. Like, I was going to have to do some erasing and let him paint his own picture.
I love that.
Yeah,
Wow.
So
That's
you
amazing.
have just in like 2 minutes or 3 literally wrapped up everything I think we have come across in this podcast since we started.
yeah,
I
Mhm.
mean, Janice and I do recap episodes periodically, and the things that you said are like very well put. And I got to say, first of all, I agree. Moms have that instinct that dads often don't. Usually, like I said the other day to Janice, Kirsten's doing autism research, and I'm checking my trail cameras for bears. That's just how I am. But I think moms have that instinct, and that's very true, very awesome. Uh, but then
By
the
the way,
things that
Michael, don't sell yourself short. You're, like, protecting the home, and she's protecting the cubs. So, like, I
oh, the
I think that
Cubs.
it's yeah. No, I mean, I seriously, I think that, moms and dads moms have a certain connection to their kid for sure, but I don't want you to sell yourself short thinking that you're n not, also doing things that are vitally important. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Okay. Thank you. Actually,
No.
th- but then what you're describing, we have talked about as grief before.
oh yeah,
And Welcome to Holland, I assume, and the poem, we have run that thing to death on here. But
No.
you said it, and I like your analogy maybe even better. Like you had a story written, but then you had to erase it and let him paint his own picture.
yeah,
I think that's such a cool way to put
That's
that.
beautiful,
Yeah,
beautiful
it really
way to think
is.
about
And
that.
then it kinda makes me think of different artists, like, we went to the Met in New York, and we saw all the, like, modern contemporary art where they, like, duct tape a slice of bread to the wall, and it's worth $8,000,000, not until it's moldy or whatever. But then there's Bob Ross, and then there's all these old French paintings. I think all of them are perfect in their own way. You just can't go to see the piece of bread on the wall and be demanding the Mona Lisa, you know? And
right.
I think that perfectly describes, Janice has said, if you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism.
I agree.
There's no two that are the same, just like people without autism, there's no two that are the same. And that resonates with me. I think that's cool.
Yeah,
One thing you
just like
said, and I don't,
Michael just oh, yeah, go ahead. Yep.
sorry. One
No.
thing, one thing that stood out. I don't want to go too deep into it unless you want to, Lauren, Postmaster Lauren, um, because it can be, but you mentioned in 2 conversations now, you've mentioned insurance challenges and
Yeah,
not just cost, but also coverage. And that's a battle that we parents of children with autism have to take on. And you're almost, I don't know, you're almost penalized for trying to do the right thing.
absolutely. It was a real struggle. So, I knew somebody in my community. We weren't like friends or anything, but her son had autism, and I would see her post stuff like on Facebook and things about like his therapy and all that, and I'm like, how do people do this? How do they afford this? So I had messaged her and asked, and she said he had a medical card through the state, and so I immediately went to the what I call the welfare office. I don't know the official name of it,
Me
but
neither.
so I went there and took, my pay stubs, my husband's pay stubs, and all the things, and asked for, to sign him up on a medical card, and they're like they wouldn't even try and process, a case for him because he had, because we made too much money.
Mm.
And, and given even at the time, I only worked part-time. I wasn't full-time at the post office yet. But, me and my husband were both fortunate with decent jobs. And then here I've got my kid who is struggling, and I can't help him because I work, and that just did not seem fair. So, I left there. I made some phone calls. Like I called in to DCBS, and talked to somebody that wasn't local, and she told me to go back and ask for a some type of waiver that would like take off, like for each one of his diagnoses. It would take off part of our income so that we could get him approved for insurance. And so I went back in there and asked her about it, and she was very hateful. And she was like, I already told you that you don't qualify. And I was like, okay, so tell me, do I need to quit my job or divorce my husband? Because one or the other is going to have to happen because my kid comes first and he needs this. And I mean, there's a roadblock in the way. I got to figure out how to get around it.
Good for you. I
Um,
like that.
she was so mad and angry, and so then I told her about, like, the waiver that the woman on the phone had told me about, and she's like, "Well, if that works and if you get approved, it could take, up to a year or even longer." I was like, "That's fine. I'm pretty sure he's still gonna be diagnosed with autism a year from now."
And all the more reason to shut your mouth and start right now. Like, if it's gonna
Exactly.
be a year, hurry up and do it.
Yeah, so, I had to get paperwork from every single doctor's office he had ever been to. I had to make a list showing, every doctor he had been to and the therapist he had seen. I had to get all the paperwork from the diagnosis at, Weiskopf and submit to him. It was, like, 2 months later, she calls me, and she was like, "I just wanna say it worked. Congratulations," and she was this different person, and I'm like, "Oh." She was like, "I just wanna let you know, we did it." And I'm like, "No, I did it."
Yeah.
So, it was very frustrating, like, she's like, "Well," because I had told her when she didn't want to start the waiver process, I was like, "Well, if you can't, then can I speak with your supervisor? Because somebody somewhere here is going to help me." And, she didn't like that at all, and so she walked out of her office and then came back, and then we started the process, and then, ironically enough, at the time, my insurance I had through work, it would only cover so many visits, so I think we were coming in to see Michael at the time, only Michael, he wasn't doing speech therapy yet because the insurance wouldn't cover, um, but so many visits, and I was like, "I want him to talk. I really, really want him to talk, but I need him to eat." Like,
Yeah.
that's, his health, so, we didn't do speech therapy, I think for, like, the first year we were here. Um
So there's a couple of points there, and Janice, I wanna hush and give you a chance to ask questions or what. I know you've probably bursting at the seams to talk with Lauren. Um, but in addition to just the absolute atrocity that it is to have to fight so hard to get your kid coverage, I well, so many rabbit holes that I'm not gonna go down. that's an absolute atrocity. But the other side that people don't think about, and I realize there are caps on income for approvals of such things for reasons that, usually there's a bad apple and it, spoils the whole bunch. But it also limits, think about that. If you can't make low enough money to qualify for your kid to have services that he deserves and needs and has a right to, that also financially burdens your family because now you're basically incentivized not to save money, invest in retirement programs, invest in the stock market, things that people work and you have expendable income, invest it, try to grow it, so that you can retire at a certain age and be a better parent for Logan.
Yeah.
You're incentivized not to do that. And I think it's absolutely unfair for anybody in the world to tell you, Postmaster Strunk, that you are not allowed to participate in financial growth because your child has autism. That's a bunch of, I'm going to not say bad. It just irritates the soup out of me. Okay, I'm getting mad. Janice, say something.
Well, I'm kind of, I hate to hear stories like this, and I have to unfortunately say stories plural because I think it's a common story, and that just it's infuriating, but it also breaks my heart to have to make those choices as a parent and think about, well, wait a second here, how do I leverage what I have and versus what I need and what I need to do and the time that I have to put all this together. And I think the thing that stands out to me and why I'm glad you're here is you're saying very plainly, these were the barriers, and I just kept going. I didn't like what this provider said, so I went to a different provider. I didn't like what this lady said, so I found another person. And I didn't like what this said, and I knew that Logan needed this, so I went and found this. You just consistently just sort of said, okay, this is not the barrier that I'm going to stop at. Not today. Not today. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to find the next thing and the next thing. And I think how much fortitude that takes because not everybody knows that they can do that or knows how to do that, and it's exhausting to do that. And so I just I think, Michael, what do I want to say? I think the first thing I want to say is I am so in awe of what you did and how long you did it to get to where you are,
You know,
and you didn't let something stop you. Like, it wasn't one no or two no's or five no's. It was all of these no's, and it was, the state saying no, and you're like, "Mm-mm, no, 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 not today," and you just
ain't
kept going
happening.
forward. Yeah, and I love that. I think that's great, and obviously we just met Logan a little bit ago, and, that's the result of all of well, of a million things and a million different choices, but I'm so impressed by that because I think it's really, really hard for people to do that, and I think, for a lot of moms and dads, um, that it's really difficult because the having a child with a diagnosis of autism, finding that out can sometimes be such an incredible weight for parents, and for moms, and it's hard to get out from under that weight sometimes, I think, to be able to advocate for your family and your child. And so that you did that, I'm not saying that I'm just saying that that's is just another way I think that you are inspiring people to say, "Okay, this is I'm gonna go forward. Not today." That's what I heard when you were talking. Those are the words that just kept coming to my mind is not today.
and the
No is
way
not enough. Not today.
the way I see it,
Mm.
and I said this in a meeting yesterday, I'm like, all right, well, we're backed into a corner. I have two choices. One is to quit, and two is to kick it in the mouth. And
Yeah.
I think that's Lauren, and that's
Yeah.
indicative of a good mom, a good wife, a good human is just to say, you're not getting emo and it's not even mama bear. Everybody wants to say mama bear now. You don't even have to be mean about it, but you can be firm and
Right.
assertive and draw the line. Like you are not going to deny my kid what I know he deserves.
Right.
Right.
I love that. One more thing on the insurance thing. I really don't want to stay on that because it can be boring. But you actually, how I told you, Lauren, that we talk and then we just pull out some cool stuff along the way.
Right.
We just turned an insurance conversation into like super motivation for me to be a better husband and a better dad, and a better person. But anyway, one other thing is that what parents of autism don't see, I'm unique in a unique position because I'm doing this for work, and then I'm parenting a child with autism. What the general public doesn't see is that the government will arbitrarily just slash our reimbursement rates for what we do. People have this concept that because you're in healthcare, in some form of healthcare, that you're just making great money. With state insurance policies, in particular, Medicaid, we'll say, they will secretly, and they did this in May, they will slash the rates, and it's we have to bill it by number of minutes that we're, working and what we're doing with kids. But for every unit, which is a 15-minute interval, there's X amount of dollars that they allow to be reimbursed. In May, they did yet another secret slash, and they shaved off $1, $2, $3 off of those rates that were already razor thin to begin with. And they didn't tell anybody. They don't post it. They don't mail it. They don't anything. They just wait till you find out. And so to run a business is nearly impossible. And there are instances too where they'll do things like that and then wait to announce it till later so they can hold on to money for longer and earn more interest. It's just garbage. All of that
Oh
to
my
say, on the business side of it as well, we're also strapped in our ability to help the kids, right? So you just talked about, I'm the parent, and here's how hard it was to get to the point that we are now. And I'm telling you too, as a business, it's equally as stupid, because you have to go and argue with a bunch of Neanderthals about why a kid deserves our services and that our services are valuable. And you know what's crazy? They slash rates for people like us, and they increase rates who are putting Botox in people's lips. Like, that does not make sense to me. A child can't talk. A child can't walk. A child can't eat. A child can't poop. I don't care what it is. That child deserves those things way more than somebody deserves to have, bigger lips. I just, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
angry elf today. I don't want to be, but I'm just a little passionate about this. I don't know. Maybe it's because Lauren and I, there were many times when, like, we would finish a therapy visit and I would just go out to Lauren in her car. Like, she would wait in her car sometimes, and I would go back out and take Logan to her, and we would just sit and talk forever. So maybe it's just that I'm
Yeah.
comfortable enough with you that I just like being myself. Speaking of cars, one fun fact about Lauren is that she changes vehicles like I change my socks, which is daily. I often would leave a therapy visit with Logan and, like, walk him back out there, and I'd have to be like, "Logan, what's your mom driving?" Because I would never know what car to go to.
Well, I had a string of bad luck with
Oh,
every vehicle I was in.
excuses, excuses.
And then sometimes I guess I was just a little bit spoiled, and I'm fortunate enough that I have a husband that really loves me and deals with it, and I'd get a car, and then I'd realize, "Hey, you know what? I really don't like this car, and it's given me pretty bad anxiety to know I paid X amount of money for this car, and I really hate it." So we trade it and get something different. But
How many years have I been saying this to you, though?
the entire time I've known you.
It just blows my mind. You literally walk out and, it just, and it's not even like went from a black SUV to a white SUV. I mean, we're talking about going from, like, I'm making this up, but we're talking about going from, like, a punch buggy, a Volkswagen Beetle,
Yeah.
to, like, a Jeep, to a pickup truck, to a Suburban. It's just so funny to me. I think that's awesome.
Well,
Uh,
you gotta find what fits, It's like,
mhm.
Now
Cinderella's
we
slipper. Yeah.
Exactly, but now we really did have to slow down a lot on trading vehicles, because Logan would get attached to the car and he would get very upset.
Mhm.
He'd
Yeah.
be like, "Well, we made the mistake once. Logan's favorite color is red. We bought a red truck." And he was so upset when we got rid of that truck because it was red. "Why did you do that? That's my favorite color." And it wasn't just like a momentarily upset thing. It was for days and months, and, like, sometimes the truck that we had, it had the steps that unfolded when you would
Yeah.
open the door, so he called it the magic truck. And so, for a long time, he would, like, just days off, and I'd be like, "Logan, what's wrong?" And he was like, "Just thinking about how much I miss my magic red truck."
And you're, like, killed when he says it too.
Yes, because it's heartbreaking. You don't think that they think that. I mean, he can't drive the truck. He half the time doesn't like to be in the car to go places, but he would grow an attachment to it. And then, you don't think about just trading the vehicle, how that affects your child. But it definitely does Logan. He gets pretty upset about it. He's gotten better as he's gotten older, but he still will he'll definitely remind you of it.
There are things that we've talked about before, along that note, not in a whiny, like, woe is me way, but how the general public, or, like, the non-autism or developmental disability families, how kind of blind they can be to challenges, and they make assumptions, and not even people being ugly, but it's just like they're so ignorant about it that they don't realize, things that they say, how they can be hurtful.
Oh, yeah.
And, think
Mhm.
about vacations and vehicles and going to dinner, going to a friend's house.
Yeah.
Those things can be nightmarish for us, can they not? And
Absolutely.
then you hear somebody boasting about how, "Oh, we're taking our 4th vacation this year." I don't care. It's not about money. Any of us can take 4 vacations, but shut up. My kid can't handle sand. So, lucky you that you get to go to the beach one time without a meltdown. I'm sorry that you stubbed your toe on the way. Here I am angry again. I need to chill. Um, yeah, okay. Lauren, I wanna say a happy thing.
Okay.
Um, I I've asked people this a lot. We always talk about the hard things with autism, and Lord knows society likes to tell us how bad it is.
Yeah.
But what is your favorite thing about autism? And, like, what are your favorite things about Logan?
So Logan, which, whenever I went down my rabbit hole in the beginning, it doesn't seem like, loving aspect. Like, you don't think that kids with autism are going to be very loving or affectionate. And Logan is, if he loves you, then he gives you all of your love. And my father-in-law has always said, I know he loves me because it's Logan, and if not, he wouldn't give me these big hugs, and he wouldn't sit with me in my recliner because he's, quite a bit older, so, he can't get up and move around and play with him, and, even before Logan could talk and really, like, before we knew whether he was really comprehending and understanding what we were saying and what was going on around him, he knew that my father-in-law couldn't get up and play with him, and that would be the only place he would be content just sitting. So he would sit in the recliner with my father-in-law, and that he's like, I never have to question Logan's love. And that is my favorite thing about Logan is that he loves wholeheartedly and he lets you know it. He absolutely lets you know. And then also if he doesn't like you, then he doesn't realize it, but he will say things that come across pretty rude and he doesn't like you.
You don't have to worry where you don't ever
No.
have to wonder where you stand with Logan. I back you up on that one.
Yeah.
Janice, do you remember when we were talking about PJ and I said, I think society as a whole could use a little more of that. I don't care what you think of me. I'm just going to be
Mhm.
me.
Mhm.
And if you
Like,
like me, great. If you don't, there's the door. That's Logan too. And like what you just
yeah,
said, Lauren, it's like, yeah, if I like you, I love you a lot, and you'll know. But if I don't,
yeah.
oh well.
Yeah.
And I think society as a whole could just use a little more of that, not being so self-conscious and so afraid all the time, and just, and even like not afraid to be yourself even. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Logan, guarantee if you ask him, he's going to say he's proud of that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Go
Lauren,
ahead,
does
Janice.
Logan have different ways that he shows his affection to different people, like, sitting in the recliner with his grandpa? But are there other people that he's like, oh, that's his way of showing affection to that person specifically, so that he can show that he loves them?
No, not really. It's just he's not a huge fan of being touched a lot.
Hmm.
So he will not let you touch him if he don't love you. So
Which is really
Right.
hard because he's the most huggable kid in the world, and his hair is super curly, and you wanna just pet his head all the time.
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, he will, I mean, if he loves you, he wants like, I feel like especially, like, his friends at school or whatever, like, will be at, like, parent night or something, and he'll see one of them, and I feel like he's kinda, like, he kinda puts people off a little bit because some people will, like, wave at him and be like, "Hi, Logan," and he'll just like, "Hi." And then others, like, he'll see them and he'll run up to him and give him the biggest bear hug, and I'm like, "Logan, honey, you gotta understand personal space. They might not have wanted to be hugged," and he's like, "But that's
Mhm.
my friend."
Oh.
So,
Mhm.
but yeah, look, no, he's just,
Yeah.
as far as affection goes, you either get all or nothing pretty much.
Okay.
So
How's he been, with Jayla?
he loves Jayla.
Yeah.
Yeah, I, was so worried. Jayla was, very unexpected, very welcomed, as my husband says. She was very, not planned, but very welcomed.
That's
And,
a good way to put it.
yeah, she was a surprise baby, and we had talked years ago about potentially having more kids, but I always worried about how he'd handle it, and then, when he was younger, I didn't know what his future looked like as far as, like, would he have bad behaviors, and would I have to worry about him hurting another baby, and I didn't want him to ever think like he was loved less by any of us because we had another kid. So we kind of dabbled in trying for a little while. Nothing ever happened, so we just let it go. And then 7 years later, hello, we have Jayla. And the funny thing about it is Logan had never ever asked about a sibling. He has an older brother, but as far as like another like younger sibling, he had never asked for a baby. Yeah, I feel like that's usually typical kids like
Yeah.
be like, I want a baby. Can you give me a baby brother or baby sister? He had never asked. Well, literally the day after I found out I was pregnant, before Logan knew anything about it, it was, Mom, I want a baby brother. And I'm like, oh, you do?
Well,
Yeah. So, that was so funny, but then we still, he was 7, about to turn 8 when we had her, and we still were extremely concerned. We definitely made Logan the center of our world. He's very much, spoiled and just, made over by everybody, and he's one of those you can't help but love him kiddos,
mm,
and so, with Jayla come, like, we dealt with about 2 weeks of some super jealousy, like, I had to tell everybody that was coming over, "If you're coming over, do not even look at the baby. Go straight and sit with Logan, ask him how he's doing, and let him introduce you to her." That way, he didn't feel like he was being left out or like people were coming just to see his baby sister and not to see him.
mhm.
So,
Nice. That was
that lasted
thoughtful
for a
on your
short.
part. It was very
Yeah.
thoughtful.
It was very tricky, but then, he I feel like they protect each other. Like, it's not even that Logan is just her protector, but she is his protector too. Like,
Mhm.
their relationship is so amazing. And he used to always tell me, and he would tell John, my husband, he would say, "I love you, Dad, but I love Mom the most. She's my favorite." But now he tells me I'm number 2 because
Okay.
Jayla's
Oh,
number 1. Yeah,
You
and
know,
that's perfectly fine.
yes, he's taken that big brother role on, and you remember we were standing in the hallway when you were pregnant, and you said, "Yeah, I'm freaking out a little bit,
Yeah.
freaking out just a little bit. I don't know what we're gonna. Is Logan?" And
Yeah.
I said to you, I said, "Logan's gonna surprise you,"
Oh, yeah, and
and
he absolutely has.
he has. It's. I think most of the time it goes that way. We parents try to foresee everything because everything up until now has been so chaotic and roller coaster-ish
Yeah,
that we're like, "Okay, I'm expecting another gut punch. Here we go," and then they surprise us.
yeah.
Um, I want to I can't be serious for too long. Sorry, Janice. If you need to yank my collar, you can yank my collar.
so far so good.
Okay, good. Thank you. You're gonna give me the big head.
Yeah,
Um,
no, you've landed all the planes and hunted the dogs finished hunting, so you're good.
okay.
Yeah,
Thanks.
right? Isn't that it? Like you landed the planes and then the
Yeah.
dogs that don't hunt have finished hunting,
The
right?
I don't know the dogs one.
Oh, that dog doesn't hunt, but
Oh,
that dog did.
I say that dog will hunt. I say it the
Oh,
opposite. Yeah, okay, I follow you.
okay.
All right,
Yeah,
so
alright, go ahead.
you're a Twizzlers fan, and I think they suck. Um,
Mm.
Lauren, you're a Twizzlers
Well,
person too.
be
I
delicate
am.
about it.
No, I was gonna be real. I think they're nasty. If I want to chew on leather, I'll chew on a belt. Um, okay, so I made a 16 team candy bracket. Okay,
Oh my
so
gosh.
it's set up in like a tournament bracket, like in college basketball, the NCAA tournament, and they're all seeded. So the teams are seeded in order of their initial likelihood. Now, because of the likelihood that I was accused of bias in the seeding, I used artificial intelligence to help me seed them based on society's preference for the best candies. So I did not seed
Oh,
these teams. So this is fair, okay? This is
mhm.
as fair can be. Now, I want you guys both in majority rules. There's 3 of us, so we're going to vote on who wins the game and goes to the next round. Okay, so the round of 16. We're starting in the Sweet 16. Number 1 seed Reese's Peanut Butter Cups versus number 16 seed Milk Duds.
Mm,
My vote, Reese's Cups.
yeah, I'd have versus Milk Duds for sure. Yeah.
Lauren?
Yeah, the Reese's.
Okay, got it. So Reese's moves on. Round 2, or game 2. Number 8 seeded Twix against, this one's tough, number 9 seeded Butterfinger.
I'm gonna go Butterfinger.
Me too. I love it,
Yeah.
Postmaster. Oh, is
Yeah.
this unanimous?
I think so. Can you put it in vanilla ice cream though? Like
Sure,
chop
you
it
can
up
put it in your
vanilla
ear
ice
if you
cream?
want to.
Okay.
All right. Game 3. No, crap. Yep, there it is. Okay. Number 4 seed Kit Kat versus number 13 seed Nerds.
Oh, Kit Kat, 100% all the time, all
100%
day.
nerds.
I'm going
No,
Nerds.
Kit Kat.
Yes,
Oh,
I
Kit
knew
Kat.
it.
Kit Kat. Oh.
See, with Nerds, you can do
Oh.
anything. You could eat, like, the little boxes at Halloween. I did it like a shot. I would just open it and just do the whole mouthful.
Oh,
They have
yeah.
Nerds ropes. They have Nerds clusters. It's awesome. Okay. Number 5 Sour Patch Kids versus 12 seeded Airheads.
Sour Patch Kids.
Airheads.
Airheads. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. That's
By the
actually
way, that's a hard one because I don't think I would choose either of those, but if I had to, I think that would be my choice. Yeah.
Airheads. Unpopular opinion, and my favorite candy.
Really?
And the mystery one, the white
Oh,
one, is always cherry. By the way.
okay.
Number 2 seeded M&Ms and number 15 seeded Whoppers.
M&M's.
Yeah,
Wait, are they peanut or regular?
any M&M.
Oh, then if peanut can be included, then yeah, peanut M&M.
Okay. Yeah, M&M. Whoppers are they're called malt balls. It's too close to mothballs.
Oh, they're so good though.
They're awful.
They're so good.
No, I do like them, but
I don't. I feel
I
like
do
my mouth is
too.
full of cardboard or like sawdust when I eat them.
No, because you bite them in half, and then that like dissolves around it, like on your tongue, and it just feels really cool. And then you got the chocolate is like a bonus afterwards. Like it's
Well,
good
I'll
stuff.
send you a box full of cardboard at Easter so you can have your own candy.
Okay.
Number 7 seeded Skittles with number 10 seed Starburst. This one's tough for me.
that is a
Yeah.
tough one.
I'm going with Starburst.
I think Skittles.
Okay, here we go, JWoww.
I truly don't like either one of those.
They melt in your
Um,
mouth, not in your hand.
I guess I would have to go to Starburst, I guess, because
Yeah,
it's like a bigger. They're not going to fall all over the floor, and then you have to like sweep them up. So they would be
that's
less
why
of a
you
mess.
chose
They would be
Starburst.
less of a
I'm over
mess to
here like,
clean up.
dude,
That's
when they
that's why I don't like the
released
nerds. Like they're just all over. They're
Too
noisy. I
Messy,
just don't.
when I realized that you could buy one flavor of Starburst like in a pack and you could just do
Mhm.
all strawberry, or the pink, I get strawberry, whatever the pink one is. Oh,
Yeah.
so good. Number 3 seed Snickers, number 14 seed Tootsie Roll.
Snickers.
Snickers.
Mhm.
Now, I wish that Almond Joy was on here, Super Janice, because I would so talk about the coconut flakes, but that's a different conversation.
I do
Okay,
like almond.
next. Number 6 Hershey Bar, number 11 Jolly Rancher.
Jolly Rancher.
Same. Can I answer for you, Janice?
Sure.
Okay, I think Janice's answer is going to be that there are so many nostalgic opportunities to use a Hershey bar, like sitting around a campfire making s'mores with her baby, that she's like, for that reason, I'm going with the classic Hershey bar. Am I right?
You totally know my thinking. That's exactly it. Oh my gosh. When I think of all like the Halloween parties and all that kind of, absolutely, I'm going to go with Hershey bar. I mean, do I like them? But they bring back a lot of good memories. Yeah.
Okay, see, I know you.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
second
Yeah.
round, moving on. The Elite Eight, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups and Butterfinger.
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 Butterfinger. Wow. See, I would have and Reese's, the number 1 seed goes down.
By
There's
the way, I just want to put out that they have a dark chocolate peanut butter cup. And if you put those in the freezer, those are delicious.
I heard that.
Yeah, those are really, really good. But I still will go
Sounds
for the
like
butter.
maybe sounds like a chipped tooth, but as long as it tastes good. Uh,
Right.
okay, nerds and airheads.
I
You know
think I
my
said
vote.
Airheads last
Nerds.
time. Yeah.
Who said nerds?
Yeah.
Both of you said nerds?
No, I said Airheads, but you guys said nerds.
Airheads? I'm going airheads. Lauren,
Oh, you
I
are?
said
Okay, right.
nerds.
Yeah. Okay.
you said nerds?
I
Okay.
said nerds.
Because you are a nerd.
I know.
I'm just kidding. M&M's and Starburst.
M&M's.
I'll go Starburst.
Same. All right. Snickers and Jolly Rancher.
Snickers.
Snickers. All right. In the final four, Butterfinger versus Airheads.
I'm going to interrupt here. I'm real confused why there's no Twizzlers on this list.
Because Twizzlers suck.
They're my favorite.
They're my favorite too.
You just now caught that?
I was like, well, we're here at the end, and we've not been given Twizzlers as an option.
You
I
just now
thought that
caught
was
that.
going to be like the wild card or something that was going to come in somewhere. I love
No, I
Twizzlers.
left out the bad candy. That was 1,000,000% intentional. I'm glad you did notice.
And peppermint patties
Okay.
aren't here either. I love peppermint patties. Those are not represented.
No, those are okay.
No, but they're not in the. I would have chosen those over almost anything. Twizzlers and peppermint patties for sure would have been like my top two.
Okay. Butterfinger and Airheads.
Butterfinger.
Butterfinger.
Airheads, but Butterfinger moves on. Starburst, almost said Starbucks. Starburst and Snickers.
Starburst.
Same.
Snickers.
Sorry, Janice. All right.
I know.
Last
I
in
know.
the championship game, we have number 9 seeded Butterfinger versus number 10 seed Starburst. So we've got a 9-10 matchup here in the championship game.
Ooh,
Butterfinger or Starburst?
Butterfinger.
Butterfinger.
Oh, Starburst. Butterfinger is the champion. And Lauren, Postmaster Lauren, that's going to be your thank you gift. We're going to buy you a Butterfinger bar.
Yes, thank you,
And
Lauren.
send it to you, and I'll send Janice an empty bag of Twizzlers. And she can store her something in it. Okay, I don't know where that was going. Lauren, seriously, Postmaster Lauren, thank you so much for coming.
Thank
We
you,
got to
Lauren.
wrap
Thank
up.
you so much.
You're welcome.
I could hang out all day. You've been open with us. You've been transparent and vulnerable, and that's not an easy thing for us to ask people to do, and certainly not an easy thing for people to agree to do. So we're really super thankful for that. Guys, this is the Autism Exchange podcast. You can find us on all of your favorite podcast platforms. You name it, we're on there. I'm not going to list them this time because I always forget them or repeat them anyway. On the Autism Exchange podcast, we want to have real talk that's really relatable. We're looking forward to what's coming up next. We got more fun stuff. For Janice Krempa and for Postmaster Lauren Strunk, I'm Michael Coldiron. This has been the Autism Exchange podcast.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you so
You're
much for
welcome.
coming on. That was great.
Absolutely. I enjoyed it. I was really nervous, but I didn't mind it a bit.
You didn't come across as nervous at all, honestly.
I was. And I don't know, I was in between coming into the office and doing it over the phone. I was like, maybe it won't seem so real over the phone, but.
Well, you can do whatever you want.
No, well,
No.
I felt like it would, I don't know, I felt like maybe coming in and seeing people's faces in person, it would help.
It's more
So.
fun anyway.
Yeah.
And it sounds better.
It is.
All right, guys. See you next time.
All right, bye.
Bye.